Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Jamie. CapTech asked me to narrate this video because my morals are as loose as my vocal cords. The story that follows is approximately true. The names have been changed, and the facts have now been slightly adjusted to make the story more family-friendly. Back in the late 1990s, a group of friends from Nashville, Illinois, decided to take an epic road trip. Their destination was Austin, Texas. Their mission: to experience the legendary South by Southwest Music Festival. Their chosen vehicle: a battered old van borrowed from Mr. Clark, the father of two members of the infamous Clark Mafia. It was a van that looked like it had survived one too many high school pranks, but it was their trusty steed for the journey ahead. The van looked freaking ridiculous, like it was straight out of Scooby-Doo. The group consisted of 5 friends, all between 21 and 25 years old. Whitey was the self-proclaimed handyman and problem solver. Earl, the so-called planner, couldn't read a map to save his life. Johnny brought his guitar everywhere, despite not knowing how to play more than 3 chords. Lou was the muscle of the group, though no one was sure what situations would actually require his strength. And finally, there was Big Red, the de facto leader who was loud, cocky, and always wore sunglasses, even indoors. As the morning sun crept over the sleepy town of Nashville, the boys loaded their bags into the van, stocked up on snacks, and set off with high spirits and even higher expectations. It didn't take long for things to go sideways. An hour into their journey, the familiar flash of red and blue lights appeared in the rearview mirror. Big Red pulled the van over, muttering about cops having nothing better to do. The officer approached the driver's side window, his expression stern but bored. "You boys know you got a taillight out?" the officer asked. The group exchanged nervous glances. Whitey, ever the quick thinker, hopped out of the van, with a wad of bubble gum in his mouth, and a roll of chicken wire he'd grabbed from the van's cluttered interior. "Don't worry, officer. I've got this covered," Whitey said confidently. To everyone's amazement, and the cops' utter bewilderment, Whitey managed to rig the taillight back together. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. The officer just shook his head, muttered something about creative solutions, and sent them on their way. Back on the road, the boys cheered for Whitey's ingenuity, and the van rumbled along toward Texas. Their route took them through the Oklahoma Turnpike, a stretch of road that proved to be its own kind of adventure. They stopped at a roadside diner, where they attempted to conquer the Oklahoma Gut Buster, a pancake so massive it barely fit on the table. Johnny, ever the jokester, quipped, "This pancake is bigger than Big Red's ego." Big Red, not one to back down from a challenge, shoveled syrup-drenched bites into his mouth while glaring at Johnny. "Shut it, Johnny. Pass the butter." Back on the road, Lou engaged in a honking duel with the semi-truck driver, much to the amusement of the group. At one point, they passed a goat standing inexplicably on the roof of an abandoned car, which led to a heated debate about whether or not goats could climb ladders. After endless hours of driving, pit stops, and questionable snack choices, the boys finally rolled into Austin. Their first stop: a bar called the Daquiri Factory. They stumbled inside, drawn by the promise of frozen, slushy cocktails. The bartender, a grizzled man with a thick Texas accent, sized them up as they approached. "What'll it be, boys?" he asked. Big Red grinned. "Russian Quaaludes. For all of us." The night that followed was a blur of neon lights, loud music, and increasingly poor decisions. Whitey attempted to invent a new dance move that mostly involved flailing his arms like a windmill. Lou got into an arm wrestling match with a local trucker and actually won. Johnny, encouraged by the crowd, pulled out his guitar and tried to play. The resulting noise was so bad that someone eventually paid him to stop. By the end of the night, the boys were sloppy, sunburned, and ecstatic. But as they downed their final drinks, they overheard a group of locals talking about a nearby music festival. Thinking they'd stumbled upon an insider tip about South by Southwest, they decided to check it out the next morning. When they arrived at the festival grounds, it became immediately apparent that something was off. Instead of the polished stages and big-name acts they'd expected, they found themselves in the middle of F by FU, an underground punk festival. The scene was pure chaos, mosh pits, impromptu bonfires, and someone inexplicably juggling flaming bowling pins. Earl scratched his head. This doesn't look like South by Southwest. Lou shrugged. Close enough. The boys threw themselves into the madness. Johnny's guitar finally came in handy when a punk band borrowed it for their set. Whitey crowd surfed, though he nearly lost his shoes in the process. Even Big Red, ever the skeptic, got into the spirit, leading a group chant that somehow turned into a food fight. By the time they left Austin, the van was coated in dust, the boys were running on fumes, and their heads were pounding from both sunburn and hangovers. But they couldn't stop laughing as they recounted their misadventures on the long drive home. As the van rolled back into Nashville, Whitey turned to Big Red. "So, same time next year?" Big Red smirked. "Only if I get to pick the drinks." And with that, the boys drove off into the sunset, ready to turn their ridiculous journey into the stuff of legends. Thank you for having the gonads to watch this epic video. Please stay tuned for some music about this topic. Please remember to like, share, comment and subscribe. Turn on notifications if you so please. Peace. Y'all.
We packed up the van, hit the open road. From Nashville to Austin with stories to be told. Whitey fixed the taillight with bubble gum and wire. Our dreams of adventure were burning like fire. On the Oklahoma Turnpike with miles to go. Laughing and singing, we put on a show. Daquiri dreams and Russian Quaaludes in Austin, Texas, we found our Bruce. Lou wrestled truckers, Whitey surfed the crowd. Big Red led the chant way too loud. Johnny's guitar with 3 chords to play turned left by field into our own stage. On the Oklahoma Turnpike with miles to go. Laughing and singing, we put on a show. Daquiri dreams and Russian Quaaludes in Austin, Texas, we found our Bruce. Lou wrestled truckers, Whitey surfed the crowd. Big Red led the chant. From gut-buster pancakes to a field of flames. We didn't fight South by Southwest, but we made our names. The dust and the laughter, the legends, we spun a road trip for the ages under the Texas sun. On the Oklahoma Turnpike with miles to go. Laughing and singing, we put on a show. Daquiri dreams and Russian Quaaludes in Austin, Texas, we found our Bruce. Lou wrestled truckers, Whitey surfed the crowd. Big Red led the chant way too loud. We packed up the van, hit the open road. From Nashville to Austin, with stories to be told. Whitey fixed the taillight with bubble gum and wire. Our dreams of adventure were burning like fire. Oh, the Oklahoma Turnpike with miles to go. Laughing and singing, we put on a show. Daquiri dreams and Russian Quaaludes in Austin, Texas, we found our Bruce. Lou wrestled truckers, Whitey surfed the crowd. Big Red led the chants way too loud. Johnny's guitar with 3 chords to